Hello and welcome back. I've we created together this notes application wherein I changed the color of this button from indigo to blue. All I did was Control F and changed wherever it was indigo to blue. So this is an example note. I can go back to all of my notes. I can create a new note and I'll say this is live captain and save that note. Okay, but as I'm making this, I realized back to all notes and cancel. We added the same link to cancel and back to all notes. So let me just Control P. By the way, I'm going to Control P from now and not use the file tree. So Control P in VS Code lets you quickly go to the file that you want. Now this here is in the create note view, excuse me. Let's make this bigger. You see this back to all notes is redundant because there's a cancel button does exactly the same thing. See, cancel button, here it is. Yeah, so I have linked it ahref to notes and this as well ahref to notes. So I'm going to remove this and refresh. See, it's gone now. Nice and simple. So in today's episode, Jeffrey is going to teach us to always escape untrusted input. So I guess there's some form validation techniques that we're going to learn over here so as to prevent any SQL injections. Let's see.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Let's keep going right where we left off at the conclusion of the last video. So we now know how to respond to when the user submits a form. So next up, let's die and dump the post superglobal and have a look. So back to Firefox, right here, and you'll notice behind the scenes, I've cleared out all of the notes so that we can start from scratch. Okay, so we will add some gibberish here, submit the form, and sure enough, we get an array of all of the inputs or the values from the form.
Cool. Pause. I'll show you where this is coming from. This is in the, okay, let this be big. That's fine. I can press Control P and go to create notes controller. This is the one, post body, the post super global. Now this can have some malicious code as well. Okay, so we're die and dumping this. That's why it's showing this here. Just to prove it to you, I'll concatenate it. Can I? I think I can with hey YouTube. Let's see if that works. Did it work? Can I concatenate a die dump statement? Yeah, I did. See, do. Okay, so this is where it's coming from. Let's continue.
Okay, so now the next step would be to take those values and insert them into the database, right? Into the notes table. All right, well, let's see how we might do that. All right, so let's do this. Let's go into notes.php, and maybe one more time, I'm going to copy and paste this, and then I'll show you a cleaner way that we can allow for things like.
Told you. I commented it out and I did not delete it. That's why la.
This. Okay, so now I can say db query, and you know what? We haven't yet reviewed the syntax for an insert query.
Correct.
But I'll show you a little trick. Let's go to Table Plus and manually add a note, something. User ID is 1, and I'll hit save. And you'll notice if I go to the History tab, here I can see a list of all of the actual SQL queries.
So insert into, and the value should be post ID. Lovely.
Queries that are being executed within Table Plus. So yeah, in this case, it looks like we say insert into the name of the table, and then the columns, and then values, and then the corresponding values. Great, so this is
So insert into the my app database notes table. and we are inserting body in the body and user ID columns. The value that we're inserting is something in the body, and user ID is 1.
Especially useful during the learning phase. So let's go back to PHP Storm, and I'll use that. Insert into notes, the body and the user ID. And yeah, for the values, exact same thing. We're going to leverage prepared statements so that we avoid any risk of funny business or SQL injection. So yeah, the values will be wildcards or parameters here, body and user ID. And I will pass those through as the second argument. All right, so body will be post body. So grab the body value or attribute from the form. And then we will do user ID. And yeah, we haven't yet reviewed session handling or authentication. So I'm going to hard code this, but I promise we're going to get to it.
Okay, thanks. Let's do this. I'm going to uncomment this and insert into nodes body and user ID. The nodes table. Body, user ID, user underscore ID. Okay. Values are body and user ID. Comma values, right? No, not values are body and user ID. Okay. Now we need this to be an array, not here, but outside of the query string, yet inside the parentheses. I will remove the find all because we're not finding, we're actually inserting values. Okay, this is the string. Now let me add the params. The body is post body. Okay, body corresponds to the post super global. Post and the body field here. Okay. This is some funky business. Should I use? Yeah, I should not use this then. Okay, and yes, stop yelling at me. The user ID should be, in our case, I think it's 7, or is it 6? It'll be in the node controller. It's 6. Current user ID is 6. Yeah, Jimmy is 6. Emma is 7. Okay. And let me resubmit this. No, I won't resubmit it. It'll be what's happening. Yeah, not create one. Cool. So the create is bugged out. Why is it bugged out? Database PHP line 20. So I probably did not have this correct. Database PHP line 20 is this statement execute params. Here I am DB querying. Okay. Config require config, that's fine. Database, that's fine. Heading is fine. Notes. Okay, it should not be like this. Right, it should not be this. It should actually be inside the if statement. So instead of die dumping it, I know, no problem, I'll fix this. I'm gonna post this here and I will close the square bracket first, then the parentheses, and then this. Okay, because it's a statement. Okay, now work. Yeah, should it? Will this work? PHP. Let me go back to notes. Oh my god, it did! Note ID number 8. Let's go, let's go. I love it when things work. And it's especially amazing. I hope I don't end up regretting saying this. It's especially amazing when things did not used to work and then we fixed it and then they work. That's a little bit more dopamine rush inducing. That's more satisfying.
All right, let's just see what happens now. So back to Firefox, give it a refresh.
Also, I'll tell you why the previous thing wasn't working, because previously we were trying to insert a database query by declaring a variable, which kind of doesn't make sense, even on a GET request. But if the request is post now that we're submitting it, then then and then alone are we submitting the database query. Hope that makes sense.
Keep learning PHP. We save it. And we're not really providing feedback, which we probably should.
Yeah.
But if I go to Table Plus and give this a refresh, and there we go. It works. We're in business. So very cool, but also very risky. And here's what I mean. Yes, you wrote prepared statements, which is great. You've avoided that potential pitfall. But that doesn't mean all of your security concerns are solved. So have a look here. Let's create a new note. And I'm just going to say work on, and then I'll say within strong tags something. And then why don't we add some classes here? So I know this website uses Tailwind, right?
Yeah.
So why don't we say text red 500 and font bold?
Wow.
All right, interesting, right? What do you think is going to happen?
It's going to... I mean, since the title of this chapter is probably going to render a bold red text in the list of notes.
Happen here. We save it. We go back to our list of notes.
Holy cow.
And it's red and bold. And maybe you're thinking, well, of course, what did you expect to happen? But this could be a really big problem.
What if it's malicious JavaScript that's embedded in the tags?
And here's why. I'll show you another example. How about within an H1, and then I'm going to force the font size to be something insane, like, I don't know, 100 pixels. And then we're not done. I will open up a script tag and say, hi from JavaScript.
Uh-oh.
All right. Yeah, let's see what happens here. Save it. We go to all of our notes. Now, every single person who visits this page is going to see an alert. Yeah, so now imagine you're building like a Stack Overflow site or something like that. If you didn't add the necessary sanitizing and precautions, well, now thousands and thousands of people are going to see an alert or something way worse when they visit the page.
Wow, this is scary.
And even beyond that, notice how because we gave the user full control, they've completely borked the presentation of our notes list. So yeah, clearly none of this is desirable. All right, how can we fix it? And let's see, yeah, we have a couple
That's how the old internet used to work, right? If you remember MySpace, they would just let you add custom HTML to your profile. Pre-2000s, early 2000s and late 90s internet was such a wild ride. This is basically what was expected behavior, but obviously it's undesirable today because of the security risks.
options here.
Also, by the way, quick story, there was a hacker who wrote a bunch of JavaScript just like that back on MySpace and decided to add everyone who, that script essentially added everyone who visited his profile. So I'll show you. MySpace hacker most follow, auto follow. Who was he? He gave a nice, yeah, MySpace worm that changed the internet forever. He gave a nice DEF CON talk as well. DEF CON is this conference for security professionals. Yeah, a few lines of code. He just added a few lines of code, and overnight he got 1 million friends on his MySpace profile. He was only 19, and he also got like the police after him. Once I realized I was able to do actually anything on the page. Once I do that, I realized I was able to do actually anything on the page. Sami Kamkar, was this him? Sami Kamkar? Was he the MySpace hacker? Yeah, I think so. Wow, he's young. He's only 38. A slight tangent, but bear with me. Yeah, that's his Hacker Day talk. Sammy Worm. Wow, yeah. Within just 20 hours of its October 2005 release, 1 million users had run that malicious code, that piece of virus. Wow. Check it out. I'll post his DEF CON talk. Was it DEF CON or some other security research? SuperCon, not DEF CON. He probably gave the same talk at DEF CON as well. I don't know. Maybe this is his talk. You'll not watch it right now. I'll just post it in chat. Slight tangent, but super interesting, and tells you why this sort of thing is so important. Cool, let's continue.
One method would be to sanitize the body of the note before it enters the database. And yeah, that would work. Another option that's very common is to simply allow it to enter the database, but then always escape it when you display it on the page. And I'll show you what that looks like. Let's go into our list of notes. And yeah, right up here, here's where we display the note. And yeah, right here, instead of blindly echoing whatever the user has typed into that form, why don't we first pass it to a built-in PHP function called HTML special chars or cars. All right, so first, let's see what happens, and then we'll talk a little more. Back to Firefox, I give it a refresh. All right, nice. Good deal. It seems like we've solved the problem.
Nice.
We're no longer displaying an alert for every single person who loads this web page. And further,
I like this solution. I think I like it. But I think it would be better if we just did not load that malicious code to our servers at all. But it's a decent solution.
Restricted the author's ability to control the presentation of this notes list, which is good. But yeah, just keep in mind, if I click on the note, right back in that same boat.
Oh yeah, because I can, I'm running the same thing on the different, essentially I'm presenting the same set of characters, the same string in the singular note.php as well, note.view.php.
So this is where we come back to that idea of the user is guilty until proven innocent. Or really, you don't even need to say until proven innocent. Just assume that they're trying to do something bad. Even if 99% of people are good, you have to assume that they're going to try something malicious. So that's why we run any user-provided input or values through functions like this, HTML special chars. And you can see here, it's going to convert all applicable characters to HTML entities. Yeah, so if I close this out, back to Firefox, view the source, I'm sorry, let's go back to our list here and view the source. You can see, where are we? So yeah, right down here. So notice how that HTML special.
All right, he's the function is converted. You see the and lt h1. So that's and less than h1 and quote and greater than. So this is the h1 tag.
Chars function converted the angled brackets here and the quotes to their HTML entity equivalents. And when you do that, this thing here is no longer treated as an HTML tag. It's treated as just a long string.
Pause. So there's another interesting Wikipedia page, HTML entities. Where did I see it? Complete list of HTML entities. Let's see that. I think I saw it on Wikipedia, but this should work as well. Yeah. Oh wow. And amp, and less than, and greater than. Okay, this is and ampersand. Should be and quote as well, yeah. NBSP is non-breaking space. This is useful sometimes for adding a space between letters, between characters. This is the inverted exclamation mark too. This is not an I, it's an inverted exclamation mark. All of these are interesting. There should be quote here as well. No. It's not a complete list of HTML entities then. But interesting enough. Okay.
And that's exactly what we want. Again, just to make it crystal clear, if I brought this back to what we started with and we give it a refresh, scroll to the bottom, now it is treated as HTML, which is why we see that alert.
Correct.
All right, good to know. So let's update this, and then I'm going to do the exact same thing anywhere else.
I'd rather not even accept this.
Display the note. So how about one right here?
You know, like give the user an error saying, hey, please don't add special characters like this.
And I will paste that. All right, but as always, and I'm going to tell you this a million times, we're not done yet. There's still more things to consider. For example, what if I try to create a note and I don't provide anything? Does that work? Seems like it does. All right, what if I just keep clicking this? 3, 4, 5?
Wow.
Yeah, what is that? 5 or 6 notes that are empty? And if I come back to the list here, well, it's collapsed. But if I hit Shift-Command-C, yeah, here's all of the list items that are being rendered to display what is empty notes. And again, we don't want to allow that.
Correct.
So yeah, it can be a little overwhelming at times. I get it. There's so many things you have to think about. In this video alone, we leverage prepared statements to avoid the risk of SQL injection. And then we used the HTML special chars function to convert any potential HTML into their HTML entity equivalents. And now it seems like we also need a layer of validation to ensure that the user, when they submit the form, is providing to us the values and the data and the types that we expect. So we'll take a look at that last element, validation, in the next video. I'll see you then.
Thank you. Pause. Let's go back and implement this now. Let's say h1 style equals text to XL, and it should be class equals, not style equals, excuse me. That's how Tailwind will interpret it. Class equals to XL, big text, and close h1. Cool. Then go to notes. Yeah, see, this is bad. To solve this, I should HTML character, and over here as well it should be big text. Yeah, it is big text. To solve this, so just to prove it's big text, I'll go back. See, this is bold text, italic text. This is just big text. Okay, now, okay, you want me to prove it again? Let me, sorry, I keep, it's my, you know what, it's muscle memory that I add code in VS Code, but no. So I'll just say strong and call it, add it in paragraph text, add a class, text red 800 and text slash bold. By the way, the strong class is doing nothing here. No, actually it probably is, but I can remove it as well because it's redundant. I'm adding text bold here. Okay, then heavy red text. Okay, let's see. Save. Go back to the list of notes. See, heavy red text. It's not heavy. I probably misspelled something. Okay, now this is bad. Now to fix this, we need to go to our Control P, list of notes. So notes.view.php, and instead of just doing this, we need to HTML entities. Right, that was the function, right? Or is it something else? Let's get into the habit of checking the source code. It was HTML special characters, HTML entities. What was it? So it was in views. Notes.view.php. HTML special characters, correct. Not HTML entities. Yes. Give it a refresh. This is still the list. What? Shift refresh. Go back to all notes. What's happening? We are in notes view.php. For each note is note. HTML special characters note ID. Oh, Jesus Christ! Not this one. Not the note ID. This one, the note body. HTML special chars. So what was happening is this was, see the bottom left, this is what it was affecting. But there's no HTML special characters here anyway, so regardless, refresh, this should work. Yes, it does. Why did text bold not work? I'm just curious. Tailwind, text bold, font weight. Oh, it's font bold, not text bold. Interesting. Cool. Text red, font bold. Sorry about that. Okay, but this one is still bonked. So let's fix the other one. Control P, node.view.php. Here, they're doing the same thing. HTML special chars. Cheers. Refresh. Booyah. Let's go boom shakalaka. Okay, so quick recap of what we did today. First up, in the node create.php, we replaced a DIDUM query with a database query by doing the same thing here. We just imported the database object and we created a HTML query insertion string where we insert into the notes table the body and the user ID. Body is essentially the post super global body, and the user ID we've hard coded as 6. This runs every time we click submit, because submit is the post request. If I create a new note, this is a get request, but if I submit it, then it's a post request. And just to show you, post request submitted. You don't see anything over here, but you'll see there's an empty note here. See this? Okay. Now the other thing we did, we sanitized the output. So we were allowing MySpace style anyone to insert any code that they want onto our server. So to stop that from happening, at least on the front end, we went to notes.view.php and we escaped the HTML special characters in the note body, which I think should ideally just be done at this level. at here, because then it is essentially, can I do that? I think I can. Let me try and do that. HTML special cars, because that way I'm just preventing that from entering the database itself rather than doing that here. And I'll undo this. Then I'm gonna node.view. Where else was this? Yeah, this one. Let's see if that works at the post level. Okay. Now it won't work now because obviously I've already entered that here, but if I create a new node and paragraph class equals, what's it called, sorry, I'm blanking out, text red 800 and font bold. Okay, this will be sanitized at the post super global. The reason Jeffrey did not do that is probably because it would not have been obvious on stream, because it won't affect the previous elements. Save notes. Yeah, let's go. Cool. So I'm gonna stick to that, and I'll remove these two elements manually from table plus, these three elements. Delete. Control save. Okay. Cool. I like this solution better, slightly better, because I'm basically not even allowing it to enter our system. This is all escaped characters. These are sanitized at the post super global, which is over here. Where it is create note. Yeah, not create PHP, over here. I'm gonna stick with this solution. And then essentially the same thing is happening as before. So notes.view.php loops over each note in the note table, and then the single note.view.php gets the note body from wherever the hyperlinked text is in the query string over here, based on this. Notice id equals 7, so this is same as before. Cool. Thank you again for watching. Thanks again to Jeffrey Way for creating essentially one of the best PHP courses out there and putting it out for free. Is there homework? No, there's no homework. Do check out larrycast.com, and he's put this course up on his website larrycast.com and also on YouTube in its entirety for free. Both of the links are in the description of this video. You got this. Thanks for watching. Take care. Have a wonderful day.